You're listening to Africa Business Radio, where you get up-to-date insights on the Africa business landscape. Log on to www.africabusinessradio.com. Your favorite shows are available on podcasts. Download them on our website and mobile app. Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.
You're listening to Lagos Landlord, an exclusive podcast for real estate investors and players in the real estate industry, with your host, Amara Musa.
Wow, welcome back to another episode of Lagos Landlord, exclusively brought to you by Africa Business Radio. My name is Amara Musa, your host and guide to the real estate scene in Nigeria and the global market. According to a Times Magazine article earlier this year, it stated that the women are on the brink of a massive power shift, a grinding of the gears of history. We're going to be getting into motion with all that. But before I get into the gist of things, guys, this is our third episode. Lagos Landlord is moving up, and I cannot wait to see what's in store for the future. So, back to what we were talking about. I can say for a fact and from personal experience that breaking into the real estate industry has not been easy for women. In fact, right up until the 1980s, they couldn't even purchase a property in their own right without a male co-signer. And in many regards, there's still the notion that the industry is still a bastion of male domination, a field in which women remain undermined. However, the tide is now turning for women, and the next decade will be a defining period on many significant levels. I mean, in Asia, some of the wealthiest women have succeeded in creating immense wealth through real estate. This is in spite of the commonly held belief of the high gender inequality in Asia, where women are hardly found in businesses, and the few who are in businesses are given far less respect and attention than their male counterparts. And according to WealthX, a research firm that tracks the ultra-wealthy, Huan Yang, vice chairman of a real estate development company called Country Gardens, tops the list with a net worth of $6.3 billion. Cha-ching! And here in Nigeria, we have our women who have made groundbreaking strides in the real estate industry. Haji Bola Shagaya is said to be the 10th wealthiest woman according to Forbes, and Folunsho Alakija is one of the richest black women in the world and is listed as the second most powerful woman in Africa. Both women are known to be heavily invested as significant players in the Nigerian real estate industry, and there is room for more. That's the good news I'm bringing to you today. With the sector becoming rapidly more organized, competitive, and inclusive during the past 2 decades, there has been an increased infiltration of women in the industry, triggering transformation that has seen the real estate sector evolve into a field with a much higher degree of professionalism. So, today, I have with me 2 double-barrel machines. Joining us today are 2 beautiful, inspiring, and significant women in the real estate space. I have Miss Ope Osibanjo, the founder and managing director of Aberfeldyl Properties Limited, and Mrs. Titilope, the partner at Stalwart Legal Practitioners. And today we're going to be talking about women in real estate dominating the industry. All right, but before we get into the nick of things, we're just going to go on a short break.
Listening to Africa Business Radio, where you get up-to-date insights on the Africa business landscape. Log on to www.africabusinessradio.com. Your favorite shows are available on podcasts. Download them on our website and mobile app. Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to Lagos Landlord. My name is Amara Musa, and you are welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about women in real estate dominating the industry. And like I said earlier, I have two beautiful women here with me. So, Ope, how's it going?
Not bad.
Yeah? Not bad. Did you get here fine?
Yeah.
You found the studio okay?
Yeah.
Over here in the middle of Ikoyi. Just
very easy to find.
Nice. All right, so can you just before I get into things, I just want to head on over to Mrs. Titi Awe. How you doing, Titi? How's it going?
Hi, I'm very well, thank you.
Oh, I'm glad to hear. Thank you too for joining us today. Today's gonna be groundbreaking. Today's gonna be earth-shattering. I think we're just gonna get right into it. So, Ope, tell us 3 words that describe you. Just let us have an idea of who you are.
I like to think that I'm ambitious, confident, and enthusiastic.
I was like, what kind of cocktail am I going to use to describe that? Sounds like a nice Long Island iced tea. And Titi, how are you? Can you give me 3 words that describe you?
3 words. I'll start with hardworking.
Okay.
I think I'm very resilient and tenacious. Those are my 3 words.
You guys are similar then. I like that. So, can you just tell us about who you are and what you do?
Okay, so I'll give you a very brief background about myself. So I studied business management at the University of Portsmouth. I also have a master's degree in human resource management, and I also have a diploma in British Academy of Interior Design in London. So about me, I would like to say that I'm a businesswoman by profession, with a self-taught eye for quality craftsmanship. I love to travel. I love good food, good wine, and I also love Formula 1.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. So I think with all of these, I've been able to develop an invaluable foundation, both in design and a good business acumen as well. And all of this directly and indirectly have helped me to kind of develop my company and to start what I do. I'm talking about my company, which is Aberfeldyl Properties that I founded. It's basically a privately owned real estate development firm based here in Nigeria. Mm-hmm. And we specialize in building commercial and residential properties here in Nigeria. Basically just help you, with your building construction projects from start to finish.
Fantastic.
The whole from getting your costings, your engineering, and the whole project management and the whole lot. And I think our portfolio includes business property development, renovations, joint venture partnerships, remodeling, and the likes.
That's amazing. I know that you're right into it. In fact, I just have to expose you here because I remember when I first contacted you to be on this show, and I asked you to please send me a picture of yourself so that we can have it in the design for the show. And Titi she keeps sending me pictures of her in construction wear. And I'm like, no, Titi, you just got to be very, very flamboyant and elegant and, be the boss lady that you are. But that really showed me that you were so grounded in the work and you were so passionate about it, because it's basically what your life is about. Literally. For you to just be sending me pictures of that, like over and over. So it's really, really nice to hear. Titi, tell us a bit about you. What do you do?
Okay, so my name is Titi Awe, mm-hmm. and I am the managing partner at Stalwart Legal. But I didn't start off with law. I studied marketing at Covenant University in Ota, Ogun State. And then afterwards, I decided, I'm not sure this marketing is doing it for me. Let's try something else. So I decided to go back to school I went to Coventry University in the UK.
Wait, so you already had the degree in marketing?
Yeah.
And then you got another degree?
In law.
So you have 2 degrees?
Yes, I do. So
Titi, we should watch out for you.
So that was how I transitioned into law. And coming from a family who is in real estate and construction, my mom worked in Lagos State Development Property Corporation for 35 years. My sister is an architect. So I've always had an eye for construction, real estate and things like that, but not really on the technical side.
Okay.
So it was more on the would I say transaction side of things as opposed to the core technical side. And that's sort of how I got into the real estate aspect of law. And since then I've loved it. I've not looked back. It's one of my stronger areas of practice.
Interesting.
On different levels. We have a construction company. My family has a construction company, which I'm very, very, very much involved with everything going on in terms of like construction from ground to top, finishing and all of that. And then it's a commercial construction company. So basically, we have clients who come up to us and say, oh, I have this land, or I like to do a JV, and then we partner. So I'm very, very much involved in real estate, both on the legal part and the construction part to an extent.
Interesting. Okay, so Ope, can you just quickly let us know what it is? Because we keep saying developer. And we use it because we know what it means, okay? But to the layman, what is a developer in the real estate industry? What does it mean to be a developer?
Okay, so basically, a developer orchestrates a development process from beginning to end, and I'll explain what that means. So basically, a developer would source for a land, right? You would finance the land, however way, through yourself or through investors. You would conceptualize a project for that land. Like, do you want to go residential or do you want to go commercial, right? Once you've done that, you would create a program for that project, right? And from creating a program for that project, you know that, okay, this is what I want to do. Now you have to finance that project. However way good, you'd either finance it yourself or you also get an investor to finance that project, right?
Which is the lovelier option.
Yeah, exactly, the simpler option. So once you've done that, you know that, okay, you've set everything in motion with getting approval and, you know, just making sure the project actually runs smoothly up until the finish. And whilst you're doing this, right, you're working extremely closely with architects, with engineers, with town planners,
a whole team,
surveyors, all the way
of
through
technical experts,
all the way through to sale when you start dealing with the realtors. So it's just
dealing with me.
So we basically were there from start to finish. You create something and you see it through from start to finish. That's what it means to be a developer.
Wow. So on that premise, what type of woman do you think will enjoy being in the real estate space?
A special type of woman.
I like that answer. I love that answer.
A special type of woman, because it takes a lot, right?
Yes.
It takes a lot of personal sacrifice. It takes a lot of long hours. It takes a lot of your weekends, and that's all part of the gig, right? And not everyone is able to make that sacrifice. And apart from that, the kind of people you're also working with, they are really tough nuts to crack. So that's why I said it would take a special
type of woman. All right, guys. So you heard that from Ope. It takes a special type of woman to be in the real estate industry. I can testify to that for a fact. We're going to have another chat with Titi and Ope again right after this break.
Listening to Africa Business Radio, where you get up-to-date insights on the Africa business landscape. Log on to www.africabusinessradio.com. Your favorite shows are available on podcasts. Download them on our website and mobile app. Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.
An exclusive podcast for real estate investors and players in the real estate industry with your host, Amara Musa.
All right, we're back and we're having such an amazing time in here. So, now, Titi, we just heard that it takes a very special type of woman to be in the real estate industry. Do you believe there is a perception about women playing in the real estate industry?
Definitely, there definitely is a perception. So, I would say for the longest time, you had women mostly in the, say, finishing side of things, interior design side. You rarely had like female engineers, female construction people, especially like site workers and things like that. And gradually, we've begun to transcend from the finishing and going straight into the core, which is going to site, being on site, project managing, supervising transactions and things like that. So I agree with Ope, it takes a special type of woman, and it's good to see that gradually women are sort of taking over taking over that space, because it's what we're meant to do, it's what we're good at, it's what we know how to do. So I definitely agree.
Okay. Now, I know that you have a male partner. I know that because it's actually your male not your partner, relationship partner. your work partner. He's a guy. Great guy. Great guy. Always. In fact, I'll tell you a story. When I didn't know anything about the real estate industry, it was Deepo that was always giving me advice. It was Deepo that was always, helping me with my legal work, and so it's so nice to actually have watched him grow and go in this law firm, and then having this lovely Titi as his partner. So you have a male partner. Do you think that your gender as a woman contributes to your partnership with Deepo?
I definitely think so. I feel like with everything, as much as your personality is important, it's always good to have that balance. And having a woman on board, you tend to see things differently. Now, there are examples, or there are times where he wants to do or suggest things in a certain way, and then he'll come back to me and run the idea by me and say, Titi, this is what I'm looking at, this is how I think we should go about it. And then I will just think of something he hadn't thought about and say, look, I think you should put this into consideration, put this into that.
But do you think that's a function of you being a woman or just having a second ear?
I think it's also a function of me being a woman, because we can both agree, or we can all agree, that the way women see things sometimes is completely different from the way men see things. We sometimes have more of an eye for detail than they do. So, yeah. I would say it definitely has more to do with me being a woman. I can add the female touch to every side of the transaction, both intellectually, professionally, practically.
And do you think it would have been different if you had a female partner?
So on that, I'm not. I would say we know how partnerships are. It's a function of the people in the partnership. So if your value systems are the same, if you have the same mission, vision, then it's almost easy to work with anybody, either male or female. So I would leave it more to the personality of the person or the people involved in the partnership, as
and about their aligned vision and mission for what they're trying to achieve.
And values as well. Your value system has to be very, very similar. Because if you have different values, one will say, this is okay for us to go this route. The other says, this is...
You know what's so weird? I can actually hear Dipo's voice talking. I promise you, she's just sounding exactly like him. Wow, so definitely you guys are aligned. So, what do you think are the solutions to gender inequality in the real estate sector?
Solutions?
Well, before I even ask that question, Ope, have you ever felt discriminated as a woman in your field?
Severally.
Can you give us an example?
Okay, so basically in construction, right? Yeah. There's this thing called casting where they mix concrete and all of that, and there's so many laborers on site carrying the mix to go and pour, right? So obviously these people are not directly linked to me. I don't know them. They just come, based on what's on ground, and then there's like hundreds of them. So this time they were working, and I'm very much involved in every aspect of the business, whether casting or, whatever. I like to see things. So I remember going up there to see what was going on, even if the engineers were there. I just wanted to, and then this guy was saying stuff in Yoruba. I don't know if he thought I knew or he didn't care, to be honest. But pretty much what he said was, that we don't want women here, or that, when a woman is here,
so
when we're casting... one of the laborers. Wow. He didn't even know who I was. He didn't he just saw that a woman came upstairs, right? And he was like, in Yoruba, he was saying this in Yoruba, I don't want a woman here, or that when there's a woman here, that things don't go smoothly. And I just started laughing.
It's worth a laugh.
I thought it was so hilarious. Wow, so ignorant, so even because my engineers were there, their mouths literally dropped.
Wow.
That is our boss. Shut up. So I get that.
So see, the discrimination level even goes as far as the bricklayer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that bad.
That's why we need to have this conversation. So do you think that enough? In fact, so what do you think are the solutions to gender inequality? Back to that question I was asking you earlier.
The solution will be, more involvement, women getting more involved. That's just it. From every cadre, every level, having women involved in every single level. The more familiar they get with the fact that there are women on site, women are doing these things, the more it softens that pedal. It makes people more convenient. It makes the bricklayer understand that a woman can be on site and great things will be achieved. All the way to the top, to the documentation part, to the finishing part, to the boardrooms, to every single area and level of construction. Once you have a woman or women more involved in every cadre, the easier it is for people to understand that we are here to stay and take over.
So speaking of documentation, in fact, a lot of people think that they can actually go by their real estate transactions without lawyers and agents. And it's such a mess, honestly. I actually laugh, ha, 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 at such people because it's a joke. So, Titi, you're the lawyer. How are you valuable to a transaction? Please educate our listeners. What value do you offer?
People are just beginning to understand and appreciate the value of lawyers on commercial transactions. A lot of people before would just say, I like this property. Maybe an agent will introduce them. They have a look at the property. They do one or two things. They say it's okay to buy. Maybe meet the buyer. Sometimes if they know or if they are detailed, some would be okay with dealing with the agents. But now people are beginning to understand that the very first stage before you purchase that property is to do your due diligence. You need to be sure the root of title. You need to be sure that this person says he owns it. This document you've been given is actually what you will find when you get to the lands registry or lands bureau, whichever one it is. And as a lawyer, the first thing we would start with is due diligence up until till the end of the transaction, ensuring that whatever property you bought, you also eventually register it and you're the known owner. In terms of with the government, ensure that if anybody picks up a document and wants to try and infringe on your right and they go and conduct a search, they can see that you're the owner. So we are I'll say invaluable in transactions because from every single stage,
invaluable.
you need a lawyer. Due diligence, perfecting your title, your documentation, looking through the agreement to ensure that whatever is there benefits you. And like you might have 99 years, you might have 5 years. You need to know that what you're buying is not just 5 years left on the residual terms of the property, as opposed to paying maybe hundreds of millions and you only have 5 years left, as opposed to having a lawyer go and do the due diligence and say, okay, you have just 5 years left, you shouldn't be paying this amount of money, or you have just 10 years left.
Because you're still going to have to go back and perfect. You're still going to have to go back and then pay for a renewal.
Exactly. So you need to factor that into your transactions, things like your land use charge. If there are any outstandings, you need a lawyer to have a look at that for you. I mean, we're just invaluable in transactions.
So on that premise, how do you think women, I mean, Titi, you said so much. There's so much to do on site. And sorry, Ope, there's so much to do on site. And Titi, there's so much to do in, with the legal work and ensuring that all due diligence is done and all protocol is observed. So with so much work to do, how can women support each other?
I would say the most important thing is to collaborate and partner. It's weird because Ope and I, we actually met each other and prior to this event or arrangement, and what we were doing was sort of collaborative. So coming to this and seeing that, actually we know each other and we met through I think
evidence that
exactly collaboration can work. So
yeah.
I would say collaboration and partnerships all the way to the top.
Yes,
that is what we need.
That's amazing. I love that. Collaboration. That's the key word here for women to strive in the real estate industry and in any other industry for that matter. Collaboration is key. Ope, if you could give yourself advice when you first started out, what would it be?
I would say try not to be a person of success, but rather be a person of value.
Fantastic.
Because once you're valuable, once people see that you're useful, that would open so many doors for success. So success shouldn't be but being a person of value.
Be a person of value. So if you could give yourself advice when you first started out, you would tell yourself to be a person of value. So to round this up, Titi, can you just give us 3 practical tips for women who would like to choose real estate as a career path?
I'd start with saying grow a thick skin. You need to grow
you need shaki and then with more jackets.
No matter what level or area of the real estate sector, you need a thick skin.
Yes, you do.
I would say know your onions, know what you're doing, put structure in place. And lastly, I would say it would be good to have a mentor. Someone who you can run back to and say, this is what I'm experiencing. How do I handle this? What's the best way? If you can have more than one mentor, that would be great. So you have different opinions on how to handle whatever issues you have.
Who's your mentor?
I have several of them, trust me.
Titi with a bag full of mentors.
Several of them. I'll start with my mom because she's done this for 35 years. She's a town planner. So every single thing, and she's been in the nick of the industry. So that will be my number one mentor. So.
Fantastic. Wow. Ladies, I told you we're going to have double barrel machines here. And honestly, we've done it. We've dealt with so many things here, and it's been such an insightful conversation. Thank you so much, ladies. I had so much fun with you. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you next week, where we'll be talking about the effectiveness of facility management in service properties. I know people want to know why you're paying 1 million naira to service your gen. And I'm going to tell you all about it in the next episode. And remember, this is brought to you by Africa Business Radio. See you guys. Signing out.
You're listening to Lagos Landlord, an exclusive podcast for real estate investors and players in the real estate industry with your host, Amara Musa.
You're listening to Africa Business Radio, where you get up-to-date insights on the Africa business landscape. Log on to www.africabusinessradio.com. Your favorite shows are available on podcasts. Download them on our website and mobile app. Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.